by thanking you for being here so late tonight to take these questions. Minister, I want you to provide an update on the measures that you are taking to prevent the direct loss of up to 3,000 jobs in the agricultural merchants sector, following EU plans to introduce new regulations in January 2022, which will prohibit agricultural merchants from prescribing certain medications and animal products. And I also want to ask you if you will indicate if this government will seek a derogation in order to bring a resolution to this matter.
Thank you,
Deputy Nolan, for raising this matter, which I know you've raised before, and indeed is an important one for many licensed merchants across the country, and I know it's something that is a cause of concern. I'll outline the situation to you. In relation to EU Regulation 2019 on veterinary medicinal products, which is due to come into effect in January 2022, and this regulation is binding in full and has direct effect in all Member States. Two issues have arisen in relation to it. Firstly, the new requirement under EU law for a veterinary prescription to be issued before antiparasitic products can be dispensed. And secondly, Deputy, the question as to whether Ireland can avail of a derogation in the regulation which permits professionals other than veterinarians to issue veterinary prescriptions. In relation to the first issue, since 2004, European legislation established a requirement that all veterinary medicinal products that are intended for use in food-producing animals should be subject to a veterinary prescription. However, a 2006 EU directive allowed for the maintenance of non-prescription status for certain veterinary medicinal products which did not present a risk to human health, animal health or to the environment. Ireland availed of the exemption in Directive 2006/130 at the time, and antiparasitics were allowed to continue to be available without prescription. There is a similar exemption available under the new EU Regulation 2019. However, since that time, our knowledge regarding the impact of extensive use of antiparasitics has changed, in that scientific evidence is now available showing that antiparasitic veterinary medicines that are intended for use in food-producing species do not comply with the criteria for derogation from veterinary prescriptions specified in the EU regulation. Therefore, antiparasitic veterinary medicines require a veterinary prescription before they can be dispensed as of from January 2022, and we don't have national discretion on that particular issue. On the second issue, there is a separate derogation in the regulation which allows professionals other than vets to issue veterinary prescriptions in limited circumstances, but only if this was provided for in a Member State's national legislation prior to the regulation in 2019. I am aware of the difficulties here, and have established a stakeholder group to try and deal with the issues, Deputy, and I'm very much committed to working with all stakeholders to consider how best we can address the issue and find a way forward.
Minister, I just want to point out firstly, I would like to see the scientific evidence, because I'm not sure where that's coming from. But agri-merchants are highly trained and skilled professionals who have been dispensing drugs since 2006. These agri-merchants also provide much-needed employment in rural towns where there's little or no employment. And I know from my own constituency we have Midland Veterinary in Tullamore, Port Arlington and Eden Derry, and John Grennan and Sons in Kilcormac and Rath. Huge employment where there's little or no opportunities for people to gain employment. When I raised the matter with the Taoiseach in September, he did accept that there was still work to be done on the directive. He also said that he would discuss the matter with you and that he would look to see whether or not the application for the additional derogation clause could proceed. Minister, this derogation must be sought to protect much-needed jobs, but also to avoid putting financial burdens on and inconvenience on farmers who were already under great strain. Perhaps you, Minister, might provide an update on the work of stakeholders forum that has been established that you refer to. Has a compromise and resolution of this issue been achieved? And Minister, I have been inundated with calls from the 26 counties, and there is no other way forward other than the derogation.
Thank you, Deputy Minister.
Thank you, Deputy Nolan. Obviously, the scientific testing around the antiparasitics would be something that will be done at national level and will be verifiable and done in accordance with prescribed specifications. I don't doubt, and I've met with many licensed merchants for whom this is a significant part of their business, and I know that many of them have trained and responsible persons who oversee the sale of this within their premises. I know how important it is for them to be able to continue to maintain that business line that they have, and also the importance of farmers attached as well to being able to continue to purchase off licensed merchants. So that is why I've established the stakeholders group to try and assess the challenges and the concerns that undoubtedly merchants have around this, and to see what the way forward might be. It hasn't finalised its work yet, Deputy Nolan. It will continue to do that, and I will work with them to see what mechanisms might be possible here to assuage concerns.
Thank you. Deputy Nolan.
Minister, I thank you for your response. But do you know, the fact that there is a suggested change here is neither fair nor evidence-based, because to suggest that agricultural merchants represent a threat to the health of livestock, and that is the assumption out there. It's not fact-based. And you know, that is a worry, and also the sector is a vital cog in the rural economy, as I've pointed out. And I will conclude by highlighting the following point, which I hope you will take on board. Given the reluctance of many Irish vets to fulfil their current statutory obligation under Regulation 43(3) of the Animal Remedies Regulations 2007 to issue vet prescriptions to animal owners, the implementation of EU Regulation 2019-6 into Irish law will potentially create a monopoly on the supply of vet medicines. I wish to ask you the following questions. Could we separate the prescribing and dispensing of veterinary medicines, as we do with human medicines? This is done in Scandinavian countries like Denmark and Sweden, and it has positive outcomes. I would be grateful if you would respond to that particular question, please.
I'll be guided by the work of the Stakeholders Forum, Deputy Nolan, in relation to examining what options are available here to try and ensure that the business of licensed merchants isn't affected, while at the same time ensuring that we are compliant with the EU regulations, which we have to adhere to and are legally bound to adhere to. My understanding is at the moment that Ireland is the only, apart from the UK, the only EU country that doesn't currently have veterinary prescriptions for antiparasitics, obviously that particular regulation now will apply from January 2022. So it's about working with licensed merchants to see how we can actually try and deal with the concerns that they have, ensure that their business isn't affected, while at the same time remaining legally compliant with their obligations under EU regulations.
Thank you very much, Minister. Now,